you're asking me to work with. So for folks that don't know what a so a econometric modeler basically is, from the highest order of building algorithms. Uh, they are able to look at your historicals, understand the weight of those decisions, and then be able to model those behaviors to get you to buy and convert.
Messy.
Right. So I had two guys on my team. I had a lady that managed the budget in terms of those investments, and then I had someone who managed or interface like with the creative team and
Yep.
then with the media team,
Experience. Yep.
right? So we would plan the spend, they would make the stuff, brief the agencies, and my role, because I had strategy and planning of those assets, was to track the effectiveness of those spends across those channels,
Yep.
right? And so when you look at the trajectory, like sales, Pepsi, trade, brand strategy, corporate strategy, and then Dell, it was like, oh my God. But every night I was up to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning trying to teach myself about math marketing, is what I call it. Right. And so that's how I got into understanding marketing effectiveness at Dell. And then after 2 years, the people that were working with me at Whirlpool, he became a CMO at Sears. Eddie Lampert, private equity, acquires Sears and Kmart, wants to do a turnaround, but wants to be more like what we call today Amazon than traditional Sears. So it gave me the opportunity to go from all these mature companies' growth trajectory to turnaround. Second best experience that I got, because now you're working with a business in a very different maturation
Yeah.
category, right?
Yep.
So you get to test shit that you may have been risk averse, because now you're just trying to get the brand out of the mud, right? And have a future. So very different thinking in terms of approach to brand, strategy, planning of assets. Whereas before I had to ask for permission because of the historicals associated with growth and the trajectory of growth to Wall Street. Here it's like, you got any ideas? What did you learn at these companies that you could bring to us? And so I ran the soft lines marketing for Sears. So I had um, marketing and brand planning for ready to wear, men's, kids. It was 7 different categories from a retail perspective. And so the whole idea was to make them digital, right? To go from traditional to digital. And so I said all that to say, after about a couple years, amazing opportunity. People ask me about Sears all the time. Great, that's why I learned to work with McKinsey, some of the other companies, to
Yep.
do transformation, change management,
Consultant. Yep.
and
Kenzie.
so yeah, that's where we like to say with reframe, and we'll flash forward. I
Yeah.
was coming back from Sears. I had a family in Austin, Texas. We built a big old Texas home. No way. My wife at the time was, our family was looking to go back to the Midwest. And so I was flying back and forth from Austin to Chicago as I was trying to get back to Austin, Texas. And you think about Austin, Texas, that was like the center of tech, South by Southwest. A group of us started Blacks in Tech. So that's how I began to make my entry into the tech realm, because I was, Austin at that time was about 10% people of color, Black specifically was about 6 or 7%. And so, that's how we created the community and began to diversify the tech space at South by Southwest, because I was on the ground there. And so how I got to Ogilvy.
You're a beast, bro. As for, I hope y'all catching up. Like, it's a lot of gems. If you exactly know what he's saying some shit.
A group of
Like,
us started what's known today as, Blacks in Tech,
yeah, I've heard of
but
that.
at South by Southwest. Um, and, that allowed me, meaning commuting. I found a recruiter, Carol Watson. Again, people, relationships. Carol Watson at the time was trying to recruit for more blacks to come into advertising, not at entry level, but mid level.
Yeah.
Ogilvy was on a trajectory in terms of experimenting in terms of how to bring people at a mid-level career and how to elevate them. And at the time, Ogilvy was launching a consulting practice because, again, I used to manage agencies.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
no way in hell I was signing up to go and work for,
For
and
another
support
one
a
of the
client.
biggest ones. Yeah.
I was not about to take on an account management role. And I was like, where would I go? You got people that have been doing strategy from a creative strategy. And the reality is that the agency business and the business model was being disrupted. And so they needed someone who understood the client side.
And the
They
buy.
needed someone who understood digital
Mhm.
transformation. And so, when you look at that era time period, going from old to new from a media and tech perspective, I'd rode that wave in many levels inside a company. Now it was an opportunity and challenge to learn it from an agency perspective. And so, was hired at Ogilvy, moved a family from Austin to New York,
Phew.
and was in Ogilvy Consulting. And at Ogilvy Consulting, we were like McKinsey, meaning we helped plan marketing, advertising, creative to be more effective from an outcome perspective. And so brands literally understood the marketing return on investment, or ROMI is what some people call it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I got into advertising, right? Wasn't a direct path. It wasn't through being, creative, but it was on the business side actually.